So what did you do for a living otherwise during all these years? Since the 78, 70.
Oh goodness. Trained a lot of people.
Yeah.
Went to lots of countries. And had some interesting business kinds of successes and euphemistically challenges. I knew, here's a psychologist who knows nothing about business, and a frame of reference of us psychologists is very simple. It has been historically, and that is, we don't go, hey, come here, I'll be your therapist. Instead, we just said, I'm here if you want to. And that was kind of a business frame of reference I had. I was approached by a wealthy businessman, and he invested in the company, and we decided that we would franchise this in the United States. And neither one of us knew anything about training. And what the mistake we made together was putting $500,000 into setting up different satellite branches of the company in different cities, hiring salespeople, without the awareness that the sales cycle of going to a large company and then expecting them to buy a training product is 1.5 to 2 years. And so that means funding a lot of salaries and a lot of overhead, $100,000 a month for 2 years without the projected income. So it was a learning curve.
So it wasn't the right strategy.
It was not the right strategy. And then we then parted our ways. I repaid him his investment, and then I had a decision to make. Do I continue to attempt to retail this material, or do I wholesale it? And an interesting thing happened. This was 1986, and I was holding my 2 sons, Bo and Jason, and they were just 3 or 4 months old. And it was late at night, and I was rocking them because they were crying, and I was watching television, and I was watching infomercials, and I saw this man on an infomercial, and I assessed him as persister with strong values and beliefs, thinker, thinking very, very clearly, and promoter phase, action-oriented. He impressed me with a man who could have a value and know what to do with it. And at the very end of the commercial, he said, if you would like to, my fee is $500 an hour, and come to see me in Palm Springs, California. And I went, wow, $500 an hour in 1986. I thought, that's pretty steep, and okay, I need help. So I called him the next morning. His name was E. Joseph Cosman, and he said, stop with all the people who are on your salary. You need only 1 or 2 people on salary. Stop doing retail. You're not into retail. What you need are trainers and coaches and consultants who already have clients. They just will come to you. They'll discover that you can train them. They will discover that this tool can be one of their tools, probably will be their favorite tool, and you no longer retail. From now on, you wholesale. And I went, oh my gosh. He said, you lower your expenses and you reach people faster. I want to give one example, Lisa, of how clever this man was. He told me the following story. He went to Chicago to a convention. While he was in Chicago, there was a garbage strike. The people who pick up the trash would not pick it up. Well, interestingly, there along the beach of Lake Michigan at Chicago, it was a time that the alewife were coming in. They're very small fish, but there were so many of them, they would land on the beach. Garbage people wouldn't come and pick them up. It's summer, everybody wanted to go to the beach. And so people were arguing about this and what are we going to do, and call the mayor. So he was reading the paper. He said, I read the paper every day, front to back. And he said, so I read about this. And then he said, I read that farmers don't have enough fertilizer. Now, here's what he does. He goes to the public officials and he says, what will you pay me if I clean up all the alewife on the beaches? And they say, well, here's what we will pay you. Then he goes to the Farm Bureau and says, what will you pay me if I can give you more fertilizer that you need? He made millions of dollars in 3 days. Very clever fellow.
That's the guy you admire.
That's the fellow I admire. So I listened to him, and it changed my business considerably, my business model.
Were you in a promoter phase at that time?
Yes.
Okay. Looking for role models in the business.
Unconsciously, yes. Yes, you're right.